Okay, listen. In my defense, I haven't had time, right, to record, well, to edit the other video. Um, and I'm talking about that I recorded a video when all the flowers were blooming, when the garden was all nice and good. But I'm getting cold feet about editing. Maybe one day I'll get around to doing it. But for sure, this one should come out. I want to show you guys what happens to the garden when the heat comes in South Florida. My garden was doing pretty well. It was blooming. It was doing amazing. But then the South Florida heat comes. We've been having heat for almost about a month already. Not about 3 weeks, close to a month. And so, if you guys remember, I want to start off with, whoops, my bad, I stepped on a plant. If you guys remember, I was having a lot of success with my green beans. And give me 1 second, I gotta position you where the sun is not gonna hit you guys, but it's gonna hit me. All right. So, if you guys remember, we had, well, actually, you guys might see the other video first because you guys have to see the other video to be able to know how this looked before. Whatever, neither here nor there, you guys might see it. So the green beans, they were flourishing, they were giving me crop. About every 2 days I filled up about, man, I want to say like half a pound bag, you would say. Either it was like half a pound to a full pound of green beans. The reason being is that, so I had this whole trellis system right here all the way to the top, and then I had this A-frame, which I believe I put it out on the video way before the green beans started taking off. Now the heat came around and they just started getting disease. You can see a little bit there. They started getting a pest, and so then the production started dimming down and whatever. And at the end of the day, it's just the heat. My peas, I'll show you guys right now. They were doing perfect. They were doing good, and then the heat came, and well, they just started doing bad. Little sunflower action. Oh, by the way, you might not see this. I'll take you to the peas right now next. But you guys remember our sunflowers? That one finally bloomed. That one right there is dead, but there's one in the back that is blooming. I'll take you guys over right now. All right, so we are here. That is, if I stand next to it, I am 6 feet. That is 6 feet, right? And there's still a whole lot of sunflower. There's still a lot of whole sunflower. So I want to say like 7 feet, 7 feet and a half. That one's pretty tall, but that one is the tallest over there. Unfortunately, I was not able to capture any video of them when they were blooming. This head, look at the size of this head. This is my hand. This is the head. Look. Come on, camera person. It's me, by the way. I think it might fall just because that one down there fell. But it's okay. As long as it falls this way, I'm okay. It's another one that it might fall. It's all right. The only one that I'm afraid of falling, because not everything is finished, it's the big one, the big giant one, because I have a few more sunflowers coming up. I love sunflowers. Sunflowers keep blooming throughout close to midsummer if they're completely established. If they're not established and you're trying to grow sunflowers during the summer down in South Florida, they're gonna struggle. They are gonna struggle. They actually might look a little bit like these over here. Now I struggle with these beds because I have a theory of why these beds are struggling, but I'm not certain. So same 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 plant planted at the same time, but I'm just showing you this to show you the struggle of the summer. It's not even summer yet. This is the struggle of these beds. So these sunflowers, for some reason, just struggled a lot. I don't know why. If I want to say that it was the heavy coat of mulch that I put at the bottom, but I put that heavy coat of mulch at the bottom just because I wanted to smother all the weeds that were there. And then I planted, and then I threw some compost, some topsoil over it, and well, they're not doing so hot. All right, so I'm gonna turn you. Well, actually, I could show you over here. All right, example of plant not loving heat or too much heat constantly all the time. My peas, they grew very tall, very beautiful. They're still trying to do good because we had, I want to say 5 days in a row where our night temperatures dropped to about under 65. And so I think they got hit with that, oh, let's still survive, let's throw a little more. And they're throwing off a couple shoots again. Let me show you this one over here. These were, I thought they were completely dead, but this one's throwing an offshoot right here. This one's throwing another offshoot. We have plenty offshoots. I'll be surprised if they start throwing offshoots from the bottom because we are supposed to get a bit of cold. Like we're getting a weird cold front in the middle of, we are in March. So the plants that are loving this heat, let me show you guys. And I'm pretty excited for it because I did planted these very late. Let me, please hold, let me jump over. All right, plants that are loving the heat, part one. The tomato. So the tomato loves heat. I'm not saying that they were struggling to pick up, but they were taking their time to start going up. But once we started getting, I'm telling you, those 3 weeks that we started getting temperatures, I think the night temperatures didn't go under 68. They didn't. It just stayed at 68 or above, and that's it. We've been having very bad weather with the heat, and it's March, but then again, the weather has been crazy. Tomatoes, they love it. I planted right behind it, I planted more peppers. I threw out all my peppers already. I have some broccoli here that they started to grow and set already, like as in like they're starting to get bigger. I don't think I am gonna be able to harvest anything from it. This is just experiment for next season. As you guys know, I might be transitioning into a market garden. So that's that. But let me go back to the beans where we started and show you guys how do I get through here. Oh, also my carrots and my beets. I'm gonna pan you to my beets. All right, so remember the 3 weeks? These beets were looking sad, like really, really sad. And for next growing season, I'm thinking about switching up my irrigation system. Some beds are gonna be on sprinkler sets, which in my head I already have like a way that I'm gonna do it. Obviously, when the soil it gets very dry, it doesn't retain water, right? My idea is that I'm gonna do sets of irrigation. So maybe for depending on how much water the sprinkler mister, whichever one I pick, throws out, I might do a full 1 to 3 minutes. Just irrigate, stop it, wait like 5 to 10 minutes, and then do a full like 5 to 10 minutes of sprinkler, just so the top part and the middle could get a little bit of that moisture and doesn't repel all the water. And that's like kind of, personally, I think it's a good irrigation practice. You have to be conscious about how you're irrigating the water, how you are. I mean, I'm not saying, I don't want to say waste your water, but how are you using it? How do you utilizing it? Whatever. So the beets, they were very sad. Uh, like I said, it was very hot. I didn't wanna over irrigate, and I didn't wanna waste too much water. So I was just watering, I believe 3 times a week. I mean, every 3 days. Sorry, not 3 times a week. That's a lot. Every 3 days I was irrigating just because I was like, it's not that hot. And then we transitioned to those 3 weeks, and those 3 weeks were hell. We're going on like onto our 4th week now, and it's hot. Whatever. So I decided that these were gonna just go to seed. Um, Once the plant feels that it needs to like it needs to survive its gene, they are gonna start dying back. They're gonna start working on just making sure that their offspring. That's what my all my theories in my head. Their offspring just has to survive, so they're gonna all die, put all their energy on the seed, which is the bean, and then that's gonna reproduce. So I decided to exploit that. We always exploit the garden, right? Not the only one. I might be the only one saying it out loud. We exploit it. So I decided to take that, and I was like, whatever. Let's leave the pots there, let them swell up, let them get to a yellow state like this, and then you could yank them off. Yank them off, put them in a shaded area, but where it's gonna get airflow. I eventually in the future I want to make like a table, and like I was saying, sorry, some technical difficulties. Maybe in the future I want to do a table where it's all cover, it's all mesh table, and then you have airflow through the bottom, through the top, through the sides, and then you could put whatever vegetable you wanna put there to dry. For example, next year I want to put a little more emphasis on growing onions. My first year was good. This year I didn't put much emphasis. I started super late, and they're doing okay. They're not doing great. They should have been swelling up by now. Beans, I want to start growing loofahs again. For example, great example of the heat. My cilantro, hated it / loved it. I hated it because my cilantro bolted, and I kind of feel bad because I told one of my friends that I was gonna give him cilantro, but that one week that I told him, we were not able to coordinate, and then the next week, man, that Friday, the cilantro, well, not even like, because that heat was already starting, so we were on the 2nd week. That 2nd week we didn't coordinate. The 3rd week, this cilantro was like, yay, bolting. They were like, let's throw out flowers. Which, look, listen, I don't mind because I'm gonna collect all these flowers. This cilantro is gonna die, but the heat just caused them to bolt. Now, I might be able to make up for it, because I succession planted some more cilantro down here, and hopefully with this cold that is coming this week, and with the cold nights that we've been having so far, I could make up for it. I could give him some cilantro. The only thing that I can't give him beans, because again, the beans stopped producing literally when I told them I was gonna give him some beans, because I was having too much beans. I was like, man, hey, you want some beans? I have too many. I had already given some away, but at that time I started getting a lot more, and I feel bad. I really do. I offered something, and then I couldn't give him anything. What else do I have to show you? The squash plants are doing pretty great-ish, quote unquote great, as in like they're taking off. But unfortunately, I don't have pollinators. They don't want to pollinate. They don't want to take up. I tried a lot of times to hand pollinate. It's not working. I planted some red kale, some regular kale. It's doing okay. It's not doing great. My bell pepper is trash. Don't ever grow bell pepper. I will never grow bell pepper ever again. Just because of the fact that I didn't read up on it. Hold on, let me go to the shade. I think I'm good in the shade here. All right, so bell pepper. I didn't read up on it before I bought it. It was just something like, hey, let's buy a bell pepper, put it there. I usually always bought peppers to put in my garden. Not anymore because things are very expensive now. Whatever. Where I was going with that is that bell peppers only could hold up to 2 bell peppers or 3 per plant. And I read that and I was like, no, that's not true, because my bell pepper, it was loaded with like little pepper. It had 1 medium pepper and then another one smaller one, and then it was just loaded with a lot of little peppers they had set. And over the time I just started seeing it drop and drop and drop, and it dropped so many until it just had those 2 first initial bell peppers. So bell peppers will not be growing in this garden ever again. I would just buy them from the store. I'm okay with buying that from the store. My kale, red Russian kale, I don't know if the heat is gonna like give him energy, or as in like it's gonna give him a boost and grow really good, or it's gonna kill them off. I've never really truly grown kale. I've grown kale one time, a struggling little kale. It was 2 plants. It did okay, but I never like paid attention to when I planted it, how it was doing, whatever. It just grew. This time around, I'm paying attention, changing temperature, see how they're doing, but it's pretty much it. That's all you could do. What else? Oh, one last thing. One teeny weeny little thing. So this is another reason why I'm trying to lead onto a sprinkler. Like, when I say sprinkler, I mean overcast irrigation. I know that's a little bit of a no-no sometimes, but I feel like sometimes it's needed, the overcast irrigation. Example, I think that radishes like that overcast type of irrigation, just because these radishes were not doing good until we received 2 very good rainfalls. About a month and a half, no, a month ago. A month ago, we got a really good rainfall, and then a week after that good rainfall, we got another good rainfall. And so I noticed that the radishes started doing pretty good. So that emphasized my point of like, I should really set up some beds, the beds that I'm gonna have, that, for example, I'm not gonna overcast over winter squash. I'm not gonna overcast over tomatoes. We all know that those are very prone plants to get diseases on their leaves. But maybe something like radish, something like beets, something like turnips, lettuces, overcast that, some kale, overcast that, everything in their bed. Maybe do something like that. I'm already preparing to buy all my products to do, like, break my irrigation system in different areas. So that's pretty much it, what I have for the garden. I'll leave you guys and I'll give you guys an outro with this pretty flower. Oh wait, no, hold on, sorry. Last thing, I always do this for some reason. Okay, you guys remember the banana plant? So once all the bananas are ready and everything, that banana plant is gonna die, correct? If anybody knows, if you didn't know, once it sets its fruit and you harvest that fruit from the banana, there's no point to having that banana plant there anymore. So do yourself a favor, chop it down like I did. I think it's in focus. That banana plant gave me fruit. I harvested, I chopped it down, and right after that, this is how plants react to them dying, to them suffering like an injury or whatever. I chopped this one down. I kid you not. a week after or less, I mean, they weren't this big, but it started throwing off little offshoots. Now I have 4 little offshoots, and I need to pick to leave 2 out of those 4. It is recommended to have, I think they told me it was recommended to have at least 3 only plants in that cluster, not like separately. But if from the mother plant, when it expands, it is recommended to only have 3 max. So I have big plant, 4 little plants. 3 of them might have to go. Obviously not the big one, but one of them. And then after that we have another little one. You won't be able to see it, but we have another little one. Maybe that's what I have to do with that big cluster back there. I believe it's 6 plants back there. I have to take down 3 plants because they haven't given me any bananas. I planted it at the same time as I planted this one. This one gave me already a harvest, and the other one hasn't. So, I don't know. I bought that one at Lowe's, so I don't know how long it's gonna take. And last but not least, let me show you the compost pile. The compost pile is going pretty good. I've actually been very active with the compost pile. I've been on it. Somebody came and cut the yard for me yesterday, and they did a really good job, as in like they raked, they put this aside, all these clippings, and I was like, that's gold for me. So I put it in the compost pile, and I'm pretty happy for that. I haven't had time to mow the lawn, so had somebody come by and do it for me. Have another one over here that one's already set, so I'm just leaving it there for my next growing season. And then hey look, it's FedEx. Is that Puerto Rican hammer? No, I'm just kidding. Papaya tree, it literally grew on its own, and I didn't want to chop it down. It was about to get chopped down because I thought it was a male, but at the end of the day it started bearing fruit, so I'm not cutting it down. That thing's gonna grow there forever. I have to expand my compost pile a little bit, but that's a future thing. But with that being said, coming to the shade, come on camera, that is a pretty long video, but I was excited. I wanted to show you guys the garden, a little bit of what was happening, and that's pretty much it. And you guys don't know about this other thing that I do, but let me do an outro for this one. Let's do, all right guys, see you guys on the next one. Don't forget, grow responsibly. I think only one person will know that. 2 people. Grow responsibly, and thank you so much for the likes, the follows, sharing it with your friends. And until next time, I'll see you guys. Peace.